Welcome everybody, it is Mama Heart, once again having a little conversation. Wanted to remind you of our love acronym, LOVE, listen, being open, being vulnerable, and expect change. And so I'm gonna be extremely vulnerable today and ask you what I've had to ask myself just recently. Do you ever say never? I'm never gonna blank. Me. I do recall at one point in my life, I said after my former husband and I got divorced, I was never going to remarry. Just was not going to do that, not going to throw that into my life. And I'm so grateful I stopped that conversation because this spring, King James and I, my present husband, are going to be celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary. Oh my goodness, so many years ago, when I was blocking that thought by saying never, I can't imagine now choosing to not have the amazing life for the last 25 plus years that I've spent with this amazing human being. But I have to tell you, recently this year, I was asked by my doctor to basically give up one of my nevers. I was always going to be a carnivore. I love meat, love dairy, even love milking the cow, fresh milk. Oh my goodness, best thing ever. But this year recently, the doctor had prescribed me to basically become a plant eater and not a carnivorous person that I had been all these years. And it was a struggle, let me tell you. It took 9 months of my suitcase, the suitcase in my mind that holds all my stuff. I call it the suitcase because it's our suitcase, it's our mind, but literally our mind really can stop us from moving forward. And it took me 9 months. I took cheese out first, or maybe beef out first, and then cheese a couple of months later. And just recently, I've basically everything. I'm a total plant eater. And oh my goodness, kids, I really was in resistance to that whole thought. And within 2 weeks, if anyone was at rock school with me, a week ago, I think it was, I literally had a physical and mental, just everything was closing in. My body was in resistance, my mind, I felt, I can't even, I don't want to say depressed, but I just want to say it was becoming an overwhelming thought. And I have to say, do you ever, in your time alone, some of those nevers, are you so stuck with I'm never going to that it stops you from moving forward? And it's just gonna bring it out there as I'm stepping through my stuff, being vulnerable, telling you guys some of my stuff. What is something for you that you've said, I'm never going to? Just having a conversation with a friend the other day, she was struggling with one of her nevers. And I believe God, the universe, I mean, honestly, when we're so stuck in a never, and it's something we're supposed to step through, it's gonna keep coming until we're ready to break through that door. And a friend of mine was literally stuck on one of her nevers, and we had a little conversation, and within just a few moments, her perspective was able to open up from the never to I'm going to embrace what is. I got to tell you, whatever you're going through today, this week, is exactly what you're supposed to be going through to learn something. What are you in resistance to? I think that old saying, what you resist will persist. And it's true. And even though I'd heard many vegans talking about the benefits of not having animal, I was just pretty much in resistance to it. And my body ended up manifesting some issues where I had to become a plant eater. So So I got I got hugely upset. Literally in me, I was gonna fight it. And I gotta tell you, I'm in day 22, so I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna keep counting up until I'm done and I've released all of it. But I have to tell you, I'm doing better. I moved forward 3 weeks, 3 weeks in, and I'm not feeling like I did last week when my body was in resistance. My mind was like, I don't know if I'm willing. I couldn't even touch hot, juicy meat that I was preparing for my husband because I was feared I was gonna shove it in my mouth just because it smelled so good, it looked so good. My mind had not quite released that never. Now day 22, I'm doing much better. And so I just want you to know, if you have someplace where you have said never, and yet you know you need to step through that, open yourself up to the possibility of releasing that word. I think never is a bondage. It stops us. And so if there's an area that you need to open yourself up to, get willing. I'm just being vulnerable today, telling you I had a hard time last week, but I kept pursuing it because it was for my best physical situation. What is going on for you that it's for your best, but you're in resistance to? Maybe in your relationship, I'm never gonna forgive him. Rethink that thought. Until you're able to be present with what is and learn to flow with the possibilities that we can do all things, we can do anything, nothing is impossible. And I'm not saying relationships that are abusive, so please don't ever misunderstand me. But if there's a misunderstanding in a relationship, we can get through that. But our mind has to be willing to let go of, I'm never gonna do this. Because what we resist will persist until we're willing to move forward. And I gotta tell you, it might sound corny, but it's true. So be mindful of those areas where you have said, I'm never going to, because those might be the very doors that are blocking you from the next most amazing relationship, opportunity that you are stopping for yourself because you've said never. So it's Mama Heart out here just sharing my vulnerability and the possibilities that you can do amazing things when you allow yourself to get freed up from what you'll never do and open yourself up to what you can do. I can do it, and so can you. So it's Mama Heart, LOVE, listen, open, being vulnerable, and expect change. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.